Hey neighbor, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and today I'm reviewing the debut album Deep Down Happy by the English indie rock band Sports Team. In what some apparently feel is my lifelong quest to piss off the entire internet, I tweeted out that UK music was greater than US music. And you know what? Even though loads of my favorite bands are American, it's time to feature another promising young group from across the pond that totally deserve to hit the big time. Sports Team is just the perfect name for this frolicking band, a group of six that look a bit like a ragtag gang of friends ready to dominate the world with their unique blend of indie and alternative rock. I was lucky enough to have a viewer request their song Fishing at a song request stream, and without a doubt, it's become one of my favorite songs of the year, just a slice of absolute bliss. I cracked my knuckles and hit the keyboard hard with my cat-like detective skills, and by that I mean I laid in a sunspot for a few hours before finally remembering to Google their name, only to see that they had an album dropping soon. So, with me only knowing the one song and nothing else about the band other than the fact that they sounded tight as fuck, what did we get on Deep Down Happy? One of the great things about finding a band that just sounds so refreshing for the world of rock is just how catchy and captivating someone's sound can get. Sports Team are very clearly well-rounded and absolutely make use of the fact that there are 6 people in the band. Alex Rice is one hell of a vocalist. His pipes will instantly stand out as a bit rough around the edges, somewhere between Idols and Parquet Courts and the Rolling Stones that actually feels really fun and engaging. Fusing these roaring highs with those slick bass lines that pop with a lot of clear detail in the mix, and strong but often sunny guitars work to their advantage more often than not. Not that it's something that I have to point out, but I love that Sports Team have a female drummer in Al Greenwood. Her playing style really complements that of her bandmates, and it's just always worth celebrating to see more and more talented women joining bands and paving the way for knocking out the stigma in the rock genre and beyond. Cycling through breezy riffs, heavy-handed vocals, and a bit of glam and pizzazz from all involved make this freshman set gain your respect as they command your attention over the course of 12 tracks. They're one of those bands, from what I hear, that you really don't want to miss if they end up coming to your city, and after watching some of their live performances on YouTube, they're going to be near the top of my list of bands to see once concerts come back to us again. This band played with the type of confidence you wish you had, and while it can get tiring at times with its seemingly endless stream of rock swagger, mostly you'll just take the riffs, grooves, and blistering heat from their frontman and deposit the positives far ahead of any slight deterrents you might find irritating. Many of the tracks were previously released or else were re-recorded for the album, and while I've yet to hear any of these older versions, new fans might actually have the slight advantage of going in blind, whereas loyal devotees might find themselves yearning for more fresh material. Deep Down Happy is ripe with potential, and even if it's not always in full bloom, it's material worth getting excited about. Having a sense of humor helps too, and the English rockers have that in spades. They clearly don't take themselves too seriously, but they don't shy away from heavy-handed topics like depression or politics either. They're able to make this spinning roulette wheel of discussions feel natural, light as a feather really. It's not forced down your throat, and as a result, you're that much more receptive to what they have to say. You can see the future of rock in bands like Sports Team, Dinosaur Pileup, Lily, Sleep Token, and more. For all of those that somehow believe that rock is dead, it's not. You're just looking in the wrong places. With songs like Fishing and Camel Crew under their belts, look for this band to take a victory lap on tour and at festivals in the coming years, pumping out the hits with just as much vigor as there is true heart. I'll admit that some of these absolute smashes can be hard to live up to. That doesn't mean that the others are even close to bad or anything like that. It's just that Fishing, for example, is a ridiculous tune that goes way beyond any expectations you could ever have for a song with that title. Chiming keys and a galloping guitar stamina constantly breathe life into the track, with their frontman setting the pace with his perfect balance of anthemic appeal and heated tales of nights out with friends in a small town. Their down-to-earth DIY attitude is a huge part of the charm, with Fishing being deserving of a massive audience screaming back every word when played live. Believe me when I say it, this is one of the best songs that I've heard in the past year. Shout-along moments happen left and right, but you'll find yourself zigzagging back home to Going Soft, one of the rather hilarious highlights they offer up. On the hook, their frontman sings, "I only listen to old bands, I pray the CD don't skip cause it keeps me going soft," which hits me as both clever and funny, especially in the context of singing along with this band. Camel Crew immediately jumped out as one of the band's greatest gifts to humankind, with its relentlessly hooky guitar rhythm and a killer drum performance that really helps out as a launching pad for their vocalist as he tears through that instantly memorable chorus. Both the opening cut Lander and Swan song Stations of the Cross have lyrical references about growing old and shouting at your neighbors, tying them together, and I love the tenacity that both opens and closes the gate of the record. The bass groove on Lander is spectacular, and the open-ended sound of Stations, including the lyrical rambles that feel kinda off the cuff, really reminds you, oh yeah, this record is definitely produced by the same guy that does Courtney Barnett's stuff. Here's the Thing can get rather annoying with its cheerleader-like energy, but it'd still be a reach to label it as a throwaway, and Long Hot Summer can feel a bit too much like the aforementioned Australian artist herself, but there's not really a ton of weak spots to poke holes in, just a few walls that could use some extra reinforcing so that they stand stronger by comparison. You can't go wrong with the twisted guitar shrill and thunderous drums of Here It Comes Again, or the mellow serotonin boost Kutcher provides, also a bit of humor there too. It's very much a record for warm days, so perhaps the album's delay to June was destiny intervening to say, hey, put your fucking windows down because I've got some massive tunes coming straight for your ear holes. In places, Deep Down Happy sounds too indebted to its influences, yet I'd argue that it's completely forgivable as they're already starting to outpace these sounds on the big selections of highlights they've handed off here. If you're looking for a debut album in rock to really rally behind, Sports Team deserve your love and support, and I'm passing off a 4 for their debut album. So, have you guys checked out Sports Team yet? Let me know your thoughts on the band down below, and if you're just checking them out for the first time, then comment your first impressions. You can see another recent album review by tapping here, or another video I think you'll enjoy right over here. Consider supporting me on Patreon to help keep the channel thriving during these difficult times. There's a link on screen, or else down below, and I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.